University Challenge.
10 points for this. Probably alluding to a work by Thomas More, what term did John Stuart Mill coin in 1868 in a denunciation of the British government's Irish land policy? It has come to be associated with fiction by writers including Anthony Burgess, Aldous Huxley and George Orwell.
Bristol Tomset.
Dystopia.
Dystopia is correct, yes. Your bonuses are on philosophy in the early 20th century. Positing a direct dialogue between the individual and God, the 1923 essay, I and Thou, is a work by which German philosopher? I think we need an answer, please.
We don't know.
It's Martin Buber. In the 1907 work, Creative Evolution, which French philosopher put forward the principle of élan vital, or the vital impulse? He won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1927. We need an answer.
We don't know.
That's Bergson. And finally, Bertrand Russell and Alfred North Whitehead sought to formalise mathematical logic in which three-volume work completed in 1913?
Principia.
I don't know between the two.
I think that one is is it Principia, Michael? Do you know that one? Go with
I don't know
Principia.
which it is. Principia?
Specifically?
Mathematica...
Philosophicus? No, that's
Let's
Wittgenstein.
have it
Nominate.
quick.
Yeah.
Nominate Rolliston.
Tartus Mathematicus.
No, it's
Philosophicus.
Principia Mathematica. That's not precise enough. What literary concept did Aristotle describe as the imitation of an action with incidents arousing pity and fear, wherewith to...
Jesus Fairbrother.
Tragedy.
Correct. First published in 1791, which book was Thomas Paine's response to Edmund Burke?
Jesus Morris Clark.
The Rights of Man.
Correct. Your bonuses are on philosophy in the 1620s. Firstly, in 1624, the Parliament of France passed a decree forbidding criticism of which Greek philosopher on pain of death?
I don't know.
Plato, Socrates, pick one. No.
Plato.
Plato.
No, it's Aristotle. Departing from Aristotle's approach, which English philosopher made an early expedition of the scientific method in the 1620 work Novum Organon?
So the Francis Bacon. Francis Bacon. Yeah. Bacon.
It was Francis Bacon, yes. In the 1620s, which French philosopher wrote Rules for the Direction of the Mind, a further contribution to the scientific method? It was later published posthumously.
Blaise Pascal died quite young. I was thinking Pascal.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Pascal?
It's René Descartes. The Principles of Psychology is a work of 1890 by which US pragmatic philosopher, also noted for the variety...
Corpus Christi Fleet.
William James.
William James is correct, yes. In logic, what two-word term denotes the process of applying the logical function to all possible combinations of inputs and outputs? A result is obtained by filling each cell of a matrix with...
Warwick Rudd.
Truth table.
Correct. Right, your bonuses are on philosophy this time, Liverpool. The Theaetetus is a work of around 369 BC by which philosopher?
Plato.
Correct. In the dialogue, Socrates states that he is a member of what profession, that of his mother, because he helps others to bring forth conceptions about knowledge?
Midwife.
Correct. In this dialogue, which epic poet does Socrates call the great master of tragedy?
Tragedy, no. Who wrote Antigone? Euripides.
No, it's Homer. Your bonuses, Peter Hauseron, an English mathematician. Firstly, born 1903, which mathematician gives his name to the branch of the subject dealing with the existence and size of organised substructures within larger mathematical structures?
I don't know.
You say British mathematician?
Yes.
Whatever.
Russell does sound kind of fine.
Russell.
No, it's Ramsey, Frank Plumpton Ramsey. According to a corollary of Ramsey's theorem, what is the minimum number of people required to ensure that there is a subset of either three people who are mutually acquainted or three who are mutually strangers?
Just go for combination. You did go for 5. Maybe like 7.
7.
No, it's 6. In 1922, at the age of 19, Ramsey provided the first translation from German into English of a major work by which philosopher whom he met in Austria the following year?
Wittgenstein.
Correct. According to Karl Popper, what specific concept demarcates the difference between science and...
Oriel Chantonaz.
Falsification.
Falsifiability is correct, yes, or falsification, yes. 10 points for this. In a 1999 obituary, who was described as a novelist and philosopher who used fiction to chart the progress of a metaphysical battle between evil and good? Her novels include The Bell, The Black Prince and The Sea, the Sea.
Emmanuel Barton Singer.
Iris Murdoch.
Correct. Your bonuses are on philosophy in the 1620s. Firstly, in 1624, the Parliament of France passed a decree forbidding criticism of which Greek philosopher on pain of death?
Don't know.
Plato, Socrates. Pick one. No.
Plato.
Plato.
No, it's Aristotle. Departing from Aristotle's approach, which English philosopher made an early expedition of the scientific method in the 1620 work Novum Organon?
So the Francis Bacon. Francis Bacon. Yeah. Bacon. Bacon.
It was Francis Bacon, yes. In the 1620s, which French philosopher wrote Rules for the Direction of the Mind, a further contribution to the scientific method? It was later published posthumously.
Blaise Pascal died quite young.
Thinking Pascal.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Pascal.
It's René Descartes. 10 points for this. Born in Western Germany in 1820, who moved to Manchester to work for his family business in 1840?
Balliol Potts.
Friedrich Engels.
Correct. Bonuses are on philosophy in the early 20th century. In each case, name the author of the following. All were originally published in English. Firstly, Democracy and Education and Experience and Nature.
Quickly, anything.
Wittgenstein.
Nominate Belgium.
German. Wittgenstein.
No, it's John Dewey. Secondly, Principia Ethica and A Defence of Common Sense.
Is that Russell? No.
Yeah, it is Russell.
Russell.
No, it's G.E. Moore. And finally, On Denoting the Problems of Philosophy and the Analysis of Mind.
Anything? Quickly.
Russell again.
That was Russell, yes, Bertrand Russell. 10 points for this. What seven-letter surname links the German philosopher who wrote The Life of Jesus, Critically Examined, the US political philosopher who wrote Persecution and the Art of Writing, and the German composer, born 1864, of the operas Electra and Salome?
Edinburgh Smith.
Strauss.
Strauss is correct, yes. These bonuses are on an English philosopher, Edinburgh. Who was the author in 1689 of a work entitled A Letter Concerning Toleration, which called for the separation of church and state? It was first... John Locke is correct. In his first treatise on government, Locke attacked which political theorist's defence of the divine right of kings, made in the 1680 work Patriarcha?
Hobbes. I think it's Thomas Hobbes.
Thomas Hobbes.
No, it was Sir Robert Filmer. And finally, Locke's An Essay Concerning Human Understanding is regarded as one of the first great defences of which broad philosophical view?
Liberalism.
Liberalism.
No, it's empiricism. 10 points for this. Later used by Heidegger to mean the fear of metaphysical insecurity, what five-letter term is especially associated with Kierkegaard, who used it to mean dread or a desire...
Glasgow Shishov.
Angst.
Angst is correct, yes. It's goodbye from me, goodbye.